Well, good morning, everybody. Got a big day ahead of us today. It's shorter in terms of miles than what we did yesterday. Yesterday was like 20 miles, straight up 20 miles. Today's 16 miles, but a lot of uphill. And in fact, we're going to be climbing the largest mountain in the state of Massachusetts today, which is Mount Greylock. So we got 16 miles plus, a pretty significant climb. It's not anything I've never done before, that's for sure. It's less than 4,000 feet. I think it's 3,900 or something around 3,900. So not too tough. It's going to be different from what I've done lately. So that might be a little shock to the system, but I can certainly handle it. The trail today is going to be one where it's going to be an uphill to begin with, and then it's going to be kind of not a huge uphill, and then come down, and then we go down into a valley, and then we shoot up to Greylock. So look forward to getting there. We'll end our day today at the top of Mount Greylock, and we'll talk more about what the plans are for this evening as we get a little bit closer. So that's the scoop. I'm sure we'll have some views today. The weather's nice. It's cool today. 57 degrees, I believe, right now. Headed to a high of around 74. So it won't be too bad. And starting a little later than I did yesterday for sure. About an hour later, but I got less miles to do too. So it's not a gigantic hurry. Nobody's necessarily waiting on me. So no use to over push ourselves here. So hope everybody's having a great day, and we will catch up with you a little further down this path. Listen to the bullfrogs. This is called Gore Pond. Full of bullfrogs. We're about 4 miles in so far, making decent progress. I think we'll finish up probably early afternoon, maybe 3 o'clock. Probably could do it faster, but I got to factor in the end of the day is going to be pretty hard uphill, and thereby slowing the progress likely. So yeah, it's we're going to come across this ridge that we've been walking. We're kind of in a low spot now, but we'll head back up a little bit of a ridge, and we're going to drop down into the town of Cheshire, Massachusetts, which is a quaint little place, and I guess it's famous for presenting, I don't know why, maybe I'll pick up some of this history when we get down there, we'll learn it together, but they presented, I think it was Thomas Jefferson, with a huge chunk of cheese back in the late 1700s. Not sure why. Again, we'll see if we can figure all that out, but I think that's their claim to fame. So, hope everybody's having a great morning. Look forward to checking back with you when I see some more cool stuff down the path. All right, folks, we've been climbing and we've reached this rocky ledge. I think we actually get a view. sharp downhill. It's very windy, almost cold. But I'm not going to put a jacket on. What a beautiful place, huh? The lake down there. The homes. Very, 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 very nice. We're a little better than 6 miles in, less than 10 miles to our destination. And right now we're going to move across this rocky ledge. We should be starting downhill and heading down into the town of Cheshire, which is probably about 1.5 miles away from where I'm standing. Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? 1.5 miles, and we'll be into the middle of a town. Overall, a good day, real good day. I like the weather. It's a little cool with this wind. The wind's heavier than it was yesterday. Otherwise, it's exactly the way it was yesterday in terms of temperatures. And I like the wind because there's no mosquitoes when this wind's blowing. You get down to some of the lower areas where it's wet, and I did experience some mosquitoes this morning. But it's nice up here. All right, headed downhill. We'll see y'all in Cheshire. All right, everybody. Welcome to the outskirts of Cheshire, Massachusetts, United States of America. I think we're going to go down here. We're going to make a turn and head more into the downtown area. And, oh, okay. Give you a glimpse of where we're going. Be more than a glimpse. Oh boy. See the mountains in the background? Yeah. We're going up there, and in fact, on that very last one, you might see a tower right on the very top. There in the center of your screen, in the distance. If all goes well, we'll climb up in that tower today. That's the plan. Mount Greylock. We coming. All right, let's get down to town and check it out. Okay, so I guess this represents this huge round of cheese that was presented by Cheshire to the President Thomas Jefferson back on January 1st, 1802. Still not sure why. Maybe we'll learn more. I have to do some secondary research to understand the whole backstory on all that. But that would be a huge chunk of cheese for sure. Nice representation of a backpacker. All right, we're heading on this way. So that's where we came from, cutting across this field, and we went across this road over there, then head up into the mountains. That appears to be the plan. So I just got a call from Bascom Lodge. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Bascom Lodge is at the top of Mount Greylock. So I don't think a lot of hikers think about staying at Bascom Lodge. So therefore it's, as a location, is to be typically just overlooked altogether. However, if you dig deep enough, you find that inside Bascom Lodge, probably in the basement somewhere, they also have a bunk room for hikers. And a friend of mine stayed there about 10 days ago. He said, man, there's a lot of bunks in here. He said, I'm the only one here. So I'm not sure if that many people know about it. They just simply overlook it, thinking it's going to be too expensive, but it's the same price as most hostels are with the bunk room. So no big deal there. But the reason I got a call from them is that they told me that, of course, they have dinner every night at 7 o'clock, and they asked me if I would like to join them for dinner, which I said, why not? I got to eat somewhere, right? Of course, I'll end up paying more for the dinner than I will for the lodging. That's okay. Sometimes nice to have some nice food. Let's not carry out or whatever. And so we'll look at the food later, maybe. I'm not sure I'll be able to video or not, but anyway, starts out it's like a 4-course meal. It starts out with a salad, soup. Then he wanted to ask me what I'd like for entree, and they had some type of fish. They also had a vegetarian, and then they had a pork chop. So guess what? I went with the pork chop, and then they end up with a dessert. So sounds like it'll be pretty nice. Starts a little late for me. Dinner at 7, when I'm usually asleep by 9. But we make compromises for the purpose of experience. So we'll check it out, see how that goes. But right now, I'm headed straight uphill. We're gonna cross the road right there, and boom, we're headed right up the mountain. So we got some climbing ahead of us. Better get after it. Still climbing, everybody. We're 3.8 miles from the summit and still climbing, but the climb has not been terrible. You have some spots where it's pretty steep, then it kind of plateaus off like what we've got now, and then it gradually starts to climb back, and then you hit a steep spot, and then they'll repeat the process. But it's not as bad as I anticipated. I thought it'd be a lot steep, but they're using some switchbacks and things to give you a little bit of breathing. So it's not terrible. Anyway, we got some more climbing to do. It's, like I say, 3.8 miles to our destination, and we'll keep on pressing on. So here's some of the steeper stuff that I referenced earlier. Kind of in a weird way, kind of wish it was like this further, you know, because it's hard work, but you gain so much elevation quickly instead of meandering around. All right.
there's where we're going. Okay, everybody. I think we still got a little bit of climbing to do, but I think the worst of it's kind of handled. We made it up to a certain point and made a right on the trail here, and it said it was about 2 miles from the summit. And man, I can't tell you how much this trail and the topography and the trees kind of remind me of being in the Smokies. You know, the harsh, cold winter and the winds just seems to dwarf the trees, I guess. I don't know. But the trees are shorter and scrubbier, and because, similar to the Smokies, I think because we're so, again, close to a recreational area. Mount Greylock, of course, is the tallest point in Massachusetts. It's probably well visited. A lot of day hikers out here, particularly on weekends, and so you get a lot of worn trail and a lot of traffic, and you see that in the Smokies too, particularly as you get around Clingman's Dome. You'll see a lot of exposed rocks and roots where traffic has just worn it down. And I think that's what we're seeing here. But it's pretty cool, for sure, to see it. I bet it's brutal here in January. I mean, it's kind of cool right now, the breeze, but it's comfortable cool. I can only imagine what it's like in January. But pretty neat. We should be there pretty soon, and we'll check out the summit of Mount Greylock. All right, we're only about 3/10 of a mile from the top of Mount Greylock, and this is kind of a famous little pond. You know, like everybody takes pictures beside this pond here, and the little cabin over there. I'd love to explore it. They call it the Forbidden Cabin. It's all boarded up and you can't go in it, but it just sits there so nestled, so nice. It's pretty cool. All right, let's head on up to top of Greylock. All right, folks, we have made it. Relief of the mountains. Mount Greylock. It's a really nice place. Over there is Bascom Lodge, where I'll be staying this evening again. And kind of staying in the lodge, but probably in the basement, in the bunkhouse. That's okay. Place, huh? Trail. So the tower that sits at the top of Mount Greylock is actually called the War Memorial. They can't read this necessarily, but it says, erected by Massachusetts in grateful recognition of the loyalty and sacrifice of her sons and daughters in war. They were faithful even unto death. pretty impressive. Okay, if this door opens, I'm climbing to the top of this bad boy. There's the stairs. Let's go get it. Narrow stairway. That's all my legs needed. A few more stairs. Sorry, man. The wind is whistling.
Yeah, it's a little windy at the top.
All right, everybody. We still got further to go. So there's the lodge. All the mountains in the background. Boy, you can hear the wind whistling up here. Says when you're looking south, you can see Cheshire and the Berkshires. It's kind of the area right there, back in there, that we just came from. We headed north. If you're looking east, it says you can see Mount Monadnock, Mount Wachusett, Mount Adams, and the Hoosick Valley. This wind is so loud. If you're looking north, I guess on a clear day, you would be able to see the Adirondacks, Williamstown, and the Green Mountains of Vermont. Looking west, you see the Hudson River Valley, Taconic Range, back towards Albany, New York. Is that way. It's all pretty cool. Alright, I'm gonna head back down. Inside the dome here, as you first enter into the tower, it says, those immortal dead who live again in minds made better by their presence. You can see the beautiful ceiling tiles. I tell you what, they did a great job with this monument. right, everybody, we've made it into the Bascom Lodge. Mantle says, as we journey through life, let us live by the way. Pretty cool. So, settled into the bunk room. Everything's good. Waiting for dinner, which starts at 7. That's going to be good. So overall, very, very good day. Total of 16 miles today. And a lot of uphill, a lot of climbing, but it was good exercise. And I think overall it's just a really pretty day. The weather was wonderful, a little windy, but I didn't mind. So overall, really good day. Appreciate you all joining, and we will look forward to catching up with you first thing in the morning.